go over a couple of things that we received some questions on, and both via telephone or some emails and so forth that were received. And a lot of that has to do with the positive contacts. As the mayor mentioned, we are up to 25 now in the city of Perth Amboy, and inevitably, sooner or later, someone's going to know someone or be related to someone who was touched by this virus. So I'm going to go over some of from the New Jersey Department of Health, some of the definitions and some of the precautions that need to be taken. Close contact is defined as individuals who are within 6 feet of a confirmed COVID-19 case for a prolonged period of time, approximately 10 minutes or more, or have direct contact with the infectious secretions of a COVID-19 case. Example, they were coughed on or sneezed on. That's a close contact. Casual contact are defined as being in the same indoor environment, example of classroom, office, or gathering, with a symptomatic confirmed COVID-19 case. I use the word symptomatic. That means someone who's actually exhibiting symptoms of the case or of a fever-reducing medicine. Any other symptoms such as cough and shortness of breath have improved, and at least 7 days has passed since symptoms first appeared. After self-isolation ends, that person may return to normal activities, including work and school. So again, 7 days past the last symptom and 3 days without having a fever. For asymptomatic, or this means people without symptoms, contact. If the confirmed case remains a close contact after symptoms develop, the non-symptomatic contact would self-isolate for 14 days after the COVID-19 case is no longer required to self-isolate. If the asymptomatic contact no longer has close contact with the confirmed case, they would self-isolate for 14 days after they last came in contact with the confirmed case. All right. This information I'm reading to you, but we will have this available on the city website for you to review if you're not able to rewind me, and if I spoke too fast, we'll have that available there for you. Another question. Do contacts of contacts need any special precautions? No. A person who is in contact with a contact does not have any restrictions and can continue with normal activities, such as going to work or school. Of course, schools are out and work is only for essential. However, if the person later develops symptoms, see instructions listed above, of course, for symptomatic patients. So again, contacts of contacts, no special precautions are needed. This will be available on our website, and there's the recommendations, or you can go to the New Jersey Department of Health website, and that will be available for there. And that's examples of contact scenarios is the heading of that. Two other things I'd like to mention, the mayor may bring it up later on, is the caucus meeting and the council meeting has been postponed from previously. It will be this Monday, the 30th, I believe is the date, this Monday. At normal times, you can go onto the city website. That will be handled by a remote connectivity via dial-in, and the information will be on the city website to be able to participate for public participation and so forth in the council for the council meeting. It will not be held in council chambers. There will be no in-person meeting at the council chambers. It will be a remote meeting that it will be identified on the city website, and I believe 47 and 34 will also. One other thing to point out, you see us up here and we keep telling you about social distancing and self-isolation and cleaning and so forth. Please understand, although it's not on camera, this podium is decontaminated. Before we go on, after we go on, as well as everyone here is washing their hands and cleaning between you. Okay, so understand, although we may touch the microphone, this and that, we are not bringing that anywhere else. We're not going to videotape us washing our hands, but we are in between. So understand that this is in fact disinfected as well as this whole room is wiped down and everything else. So we are practicing what we preach, and we hope that all of you do the same thing. Thank you, and I'd like to now introduce Chief of Police Roman McEwen.
Thank you, Deputy. I'm going to be rehashing a lot of the points I've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. The first part is in reference to price gouging. I have to say, in all honesty, the city of Perth Amboy has been very good in this aspect. Very proud of this town. Other than a few people raising prices $1 or $2 here and there, for the most part, people have been heeding our warning to please treat the residents of this city with respect and understand in times of crisis it's not the time to pad your own pocket. And I am happy to report that for the most part, the city of Perth Amboy has responded. That's good to hear. Also, our businesses, as you know, many businesses are now forced to close because they're not considered essential by the governor's office. Like I've spoken about before, this is not the police closing your business. This is not the mayor's office closing your business. This is a public safety issue which is closing your business at the request of the governor's office. So we need to understand that if an officer approaches you about something that you need to shut down or is being opened improperly, do not blame the officer, don't point the finger at the mayor, don't point the finger at the administration. It has nothing to do with anything other than protecting you, protecting the city, and getting us through this virus in one piece. That's what we're concerned about at this point. We understand people have financial hardships. We empathize with you. We are willing to work with you as best we can. But at the end of the day, we do have to enforce the governor's mandate. We have to. And again, at the end of the day, it's just about protecting you and your families. We've talked about the 8 p.m. curfew. For those of you that live in town, you see every night the police department, the fire department, circling throughout the entire city making announcements to go home at 8 o'clock. Again, this is for your safety, for our safety, for the safety of the entire community to get us through this crisis. The youth of this city, I understand that you're getting a little stir crazy. I understand. I was a kid at one time, many, many years ago myself, so I get it. But you can get the virus just as easily as an older person can or a person with an immune-compromised system. It doesn't make a difference. You may not show the symptoms, but now you become a carrier, and you can pass it on to your grandmother, someone in your family that isn't of good health, and affect them, and it can spread. So you need to take this seriously. Just yesterday, we had to break up a basketball game with 20 kids that were playing basketball. And again, I do understand the frustration. I do understand the claustrophobia, but you cannot engage in this behavior, and we are going to stop you. As a matter of fact, that location where the game was taking place, if you go there today, the rims are no longer on the backboards because we need to protect this community. Also along our waterfront, I do understand it's beautiful out there. The weather's going to get nice. We got the weekend coming up. I have no issue, nor does the mayor, nor does anyone in this city have an issue if you take a nice leisure walk, walk along a beautiful waterfront, maintaining social distance, not gathering in groups. That's fine. We encourage you to get outside. We encourage you to get some fresh air. There's no issue with that at all. But after 8 o'clock, we do expect you to be in your home. The governor put this time limit in place for a reason. So again, I implore our young people to please stay indoors after 8 o'clock. Stay out of our parks. You can go in the park, just don't go on the playground equipment. Don't gather in large groups, and try to remain separated and respect that social distance, because at the end of the day, it protects you. And last, but certainly not least, I have to thank our police officers that have been out there doing an outstanding job in incredibly difficult circumstances. Because always remember, they have to worry about their family and friends as well. And they're out here 24 hours a day. And I also want to mention our dispatchers, because sometimes they get lost in the mix. They're also considered essential workers. They're also here 24 hours a day, answering your calls, screening your calls, getting information to the officer that needs to get out to, as well as our garage personnel, our mechanics, everyone else. We don't have the luxury of sheltering in place. But I want to thank the city for working with us. We have not had anybody that was sick come into our lobby. They've respected that distance and respected the health of our police officers. We're taking reports off the phone. We've had no issue with that. Again, other than a few people here and there, the vast majority of the city has come together to work as one to defeat this crisis. And I want to thank each and every one of you for your help. With that being said, I'm going to turn over to the Director of Recreation, Kenny Ortiz.
Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, we continue operating on a limited basis. We have seen an increase in the amount of questions coming into our office, and they're from all various questions. If there's something you're unsure of, we ask you to please contact 732-826-1690, extension 4305. The person who picks up the phone may not have the answer for you, but it will be referred to someone else that can provide you a call back and to give you more insight. But what I would like to speak about is something that the mayor touched on before. We have updated the city's website with a host of information. As we know that things are very fluid and things are changing by the minute, we're adding more information to our site, so that's why it's easily accessible for you. Some of the things that we have here are prevention and treatment for COVID illness, for the COVID illness. Some of the other things, one other thing I wanted to touch on is that the water department and sewer department contacted the city yesterday. Many individuals are using those sanitary wipes and flushing them down the toilet. Those wipes do not dissolve easily, so they're clogging our systems. We understand there may be a shortage of paper products, but if you're going to use a sanitary wipe, we are encouraging people not to flush it down the toilet. It's causing other adverse issues. We also have our links to our local school district and other schools in regards to what they're doing as far as food, and also what they're doing with their academic lesson plans and things of that nature. Employment is another key issue. A lot of people are asking, what do I do now? I'm going to be laid off, or things of that nature. We have the New Jersey Department of Labor information on the city's website for you to look at. That's in both Spanish and English. We're also touching upon our housing. We're getting a lot of questions, do I pay my rent this month? There has been no guidance from the state that you cannot pay your rent. But if something were to change, or something, you have an issue with a mortgage payment, we will provide that information as soon as it comes to us onto the city website. One thing that we were talking internally in the last few days is that, and like the chief alluded to, many of us are home for a long period of time now. We're feeling that cabin fever. We want to get out. Some individuals handle this kind of situation better than others. If you know of someone that you may feel that is going through a tough time and may have a mental health issue, we also have resources. There's a free helpline that people can call and just receive some free counseling, because these are trying times, and we got to understand that not everyone handles these situations the same, but we want to be there to give them some advice and some counseling to help them get through this as easily as possible. Public assistance programs such as SNAP and Social Security, many people are thinking, am I going to get my check? Or if I put an application, what's going to happen? We have that information online as well. And then also our utilities. Our utility companies have assured us, and through the state, that they're not going to be cutting off light or heat and anything. There's a stay on that as well. So once again, I ask you, visit the city website. The mayor's Facebook Lives, like this one that we're doing now, will be put up immediately after this. So if you missed anything, you can go right to our page or to the mayor's Facebook page, and you'll find that information. Once again, if you have a general question, 732-826-1690 is the number to call. The extension is 4305. And then, and if you have a question about seniors in regards to meals or transportation to the supermarket or medical appointments, that phone number is 732-826-1690, extension 4307 or 4325. At this time, I'd like to call up my colleague, Mr. Frank Hoffman, who is the Director of Public Works.
Thank you, Director Ortiz. I would like to speak to the residents of Perth Amboy, and especially the youth of Perth Amboy. I grew up in Perth Amboy, and I used to play basketball in Patton Center. I played 3, 4, 5 hours a day. On the weekends, I'd be 6, 7, 8 hours a day. Based on the report that I had received from the Office of Emergency Management, I felt that it was in our best interest as a community to remove the rims from the basketball courts. Also, in consultation with the administration, we had discussed about putting fencing around the playground areas. Again, I've grown up here. I used to use all the things that were here, the playground areas, the basketball courts. I'm very sorry that we had to take the steps that we did, but it is in everyone's best interest that we do not allow close physical contact because of this virus that is going through our community. Public Works is still open. We are doing all of the regular jobs that we had done before. We are continuing to do so. We have emergency plans in place. in case anything happens. I want to thank all of our employees that work in Public Works. Some people might not realize it, but our buildings and grounds employees are some of the people that go around sanitizing the buildings, our sanitation department. If you listen to news reports, the virus can't stay on some surfaces. We are removing the garbage. Our workers that are having direct contact still removing all the garbage. Our people in the parks are working in the parks where people are still going. So our people are putting themselves at risk to serve the public, and I just want to thank them for all the service that they are doing. As I said, we are still continuing with all of our services that we provide. So if you have a problem or a question, you can call us 732-826-2010. I would like to now bring back Mayor Diaz. Thank you for your time.
I just want to thank the entire team. As you can see, everyone has been working closely together to provide safety, information, and as also we have taken so many precautions in every department to ensure that we continue to provide services for our community. And you know, Frank pointed out, many of our employees are also putting themselves out there on the line to provide, again, the services that our community has always know that we have been providing all these years. But I do want to also touch, for us it was so important to update our city website so that we can continue to provide you additional information, because we took into account so many of the questions that you guys, the residents, were asking us. So we wanted to, again, update our city website to get this information to our residents, especially now. One of the biggest topics was unemployment, and we wanted to guide you where to seek information, and we did it in English and in Spanish. Which leads me that after this, in a few minutes, and within the next 15 minutes, all Spanish speakers could get online with us again, because Kenny Ortiz and I will be addressing and informing you in Spanish what has transpired during this time. For Gambler, we have always come together to work for our community, for the benefit of all of us that live here in the city of Perth Amboy. This is a difficult time, and it's been challenging, but we are resilient as a community. We have always come out of every storm, and I believe that we're going to, again, to overcome, and it's just information is that's exactly what we have done. So I want to thank you, residents, and I want to thank the staff of the city of Perth Amboy, because they have been doing an amazing job in every department, from our police to our fire to public works, human services. Everyone understands, and our partners, the school system, I can't thank them enough for helping us to provide the meals for our children, and for the work that we are doing now, providing meals for our seniors. Also, again, let's continue to follow these guidelines, and a special thank you to all the health personnel. Again, Perth Amboy Hospital right here in our great community, and the Jewish Renaissance, thank you for everything that you're doing for our city, and to all the doctors and nurses. Again, we are so grateful to you for your sacrifices to keep all of us healthy. Thank you.